Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to the start of Season 2 of our NASCAR 25 career mode. Yes, today we are hopefully about to make our start in the truck series. So obviously I finished out the last video on Tuesday. A massive thank you to everybody for watching out at Phoenix, where we successfully held on to P2 in the championship after a dominant victory in the season finale. I've made a few tweaks and changes to the game ready for this season. We are going to be running 50% races, so it should mean the videos are a bit longer, but obviously I'm going to try and cut them down a little bit more. But ultimately, I'm hoping we're going into the truck series now. I better make sure that I don't press any wrong buttons or anything like this. Now, as far as I gather, you basically kind of get forced into doing the truck series, but you can also still do ARCA if you want to. I think we're just going to focus purely, though, on trucks this season. Just to make sure that we get up to speed. And I don't want to have, too many kind of things on our plate as well. So there we go. Start of the new season here in the trucks. Of course, a massive thank you to everybody for their continued support on this series so far. We've got a 25 race season then ahead of us, so it's obviously a little bit longer than what we saw in ARCA. Of course, all good things kick off at Daytona. We then head out to Atlanta, or Echo Park Speedway as it's known. Las Vegas, Homestead, obviously a lot more of these big venues than I was expecting there. Martinsville, Bristol, The Rock, of course, again, Texas, Kansas, where else have we got? North Wilkesboro, of course, stays on the calendar. Michigan, Pocono, I think is going to be a really, really interesting one as well there. But I'm actually taking a look at the prize pool because a lot of these races aren't actually offering much more cash than the than the ARCA series there. 74 laps of Darlington. That is going to be a brutal, brutal event as well. So, yeah, the races are going to be a lot longer. But, of course, these cars should be a bit quicker. We get to go to the Roval as well. That is going to be very, very interesting. Talladega, of course, Martinsville again. And then, of course, the Championship 4 race back out at Phoenix. So, obviously, now we're going to have, the playoff system, everything like that, throughout this second season as well. So that is going to make things very interesting. Lawless Alan in this series. Have we got any other names that we recognise, obviously, from our time in last season? I mean, Carl Busch is obviously here as well. I recognise quite a few of these names anyway. Caleb Costner's here. Matt Crafton's here. Obviously, Grant Enfinger as well. Corey Heim, Daniel Hemrick. But I don't think, there's not many that have obviously made the step up. Some of you guys were saying that Sawalich, there we go, William Sawalich, there we go, in the number 1 car as well in this championship. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. But, of course, we've got a lot that we need to sort out first of all. And the big one is I want to try and buy some upgrades for the car. Now, you guys have said that they're quite expensive, and I can't do anything. Okay, we're going to have to wait till after Daytona before we can do anything with that. Now, we've got some other urgent tasks. So, Riley Taylor is going to be our agent in the truck series, so we will head over and have a quick look. SKF is willing to sponsor the car. Now, most people probably think, well, they just sponsor all of the motorsport teams. My best mate's dad actually works for them, so yeah, we're going to be getting them signed on, and they are expecting a 27th place finish to kickstart the year. And Mason Brooks is going to be our all-new crew chief as well then. So we've actually got multiple cars for this season. There are 2 trucks to manage in this series. Each week, the left truck will go to the track while the right is going under repairs. Okay, so I guess that's alright then. Of course, everything is fully working. But yeah, without being able to do any upgrades to the car, we're obviously just going to have to wait till next weekend. So I'm looking forward to this though, my truck series debut. So let's just get out there.
Welcome to the World Center of Racing, the legendary Daytona International Speedway. Get ready to feel the thunder as engines roar from the high banks of this world-famous track.
Well, here we are then, heading out onto the Daytona International Speedway for my very first laps then, here in our all-new truck car. A truck car? Oh, no. You guys are going to slate me in the comments for that one. Anyway, heading out then, my very first laps then in our all-new truck. I would expect, obviously, with no major upgrades on it, we are probably going to qualify right towards the back of the field. But, of course, Daytona is one of the great equalizers in NASCAR Cup Series racing. So, And when we've got a fair bit of cash behind us, I mean, I would love to kickstart the season with a dub as well here at Daytona. But I've also added stage racing to this season as well. So I don't know whether we're going to have 3 really short stages or whether it's just going to be one stage break in the middle. But obviously I want to try and create what is a fairly authentic NASCAR experience as well there. So 50% races, I think tyre and fuel usage I've left where they were last season. I've upped the AI to 102 as well now, so I am slowly bringing that up more and more as we make our way through this campaign. But I think because obviously we're doing longer races, normally now I'm probably not going to include free practice, otherwise the videos could end up being about 45 minutes long. Well, let's see what we can do then in our very first Truck Series qualifying. No idea why it kind of throws you out towards the middle of the circuit. I don't want to do a Dave Blaney or a Kevin LePage against the entire field, but getting ready then to go. Not quite sure we're going to have the pace in qualifying, but of course, as we all know, anything can happen when we get into the race there, so we'll have to just wait and see. We'll just have to try and get a decent qualifying time on the board, because obviously, you know, we've got to try and meet sponsor goals and everything like that. But Daytona, I mean, it's a pretty simple qualifying, isn't it? You can try and hold the high line on your outlap and everything like that. Obviously, in iRacing, you tend to do 2 build laps and then go for it right at the very end around a venue like this. But obviously, yeah, we've only got the one opportunity today with this qualifying session there. So throwing the car off the top of the banking, trying to give ourselves as much speed as we possibly can. When we're in the draft, though, we look to be pretty quick round here today. So there we go, then. Right, now it is all about being smooth, about scrubbing off as little speed as you possibly can out of the car, as I'm looking to try and hold 6,500 RPM down the straights. And obviously we'll dip probably a bit, well, yeah, quite a bit below that through the corners there, 6,300, as we try and make our way through the banking there. Hug that apron as best as possible, and then keep the car arrow straight as you make your way down the back stretch, then back up over 6,500 once more. Looking at, yeah, 174, maybe 175 miles an hour. There we go. And then obviously through turn 3 and turn 4. Haven't really seen what other people's pace is like when they're out by themselves. So yeah, this is going to be our first real test then. I've opted to keep the number 94 on the car, simply because the 21 number you can't use. So, you know, I'm kind of sticking with it now. There's a 52.5. We go P36. Not ideal. And oh, yeah, we are a long way off, actually. We're nearly a second slower than anybody else in qualifying. That's a bitter shame. As fastest time there, 50.6 from Corey Heim. But I think you get a top 10 shootout, don't you, as well? Which we definitely didn't make.
Get on your feet. It's time to go NASCAR Truck Series racing as we go trackside for the most famous words in all of motorsports. Driver, start your engine!
Well, a 50-lap race then here from Daytona tonight. Kyle Busch starting from the pole. And let's see what we can do then nice and early on, as we know we won't have to drive off of the start. But it is a 3-stage race then, so I believe it's 10 laps. And then 20 and 20, I don't quite know, in all honesty there, but really trying to make sure that I keep up with everybody off of the start. Yeah, Kyle Busch, of course, I believe he's won this race in the Truck Series previously. Of course, one of the most successful drivers in Truck Series history, but we've immediately been a little bit left for dead then at the rear of the field. This first stage could be rather boring if I can't do anything. Now, I believe, obviously, you can try and use a little bit of strategy obviously with the stages as well. Obviously, you can opt to try and pit before the end of a stage and things like that. I don't think there's any point of doing it today because it's a 50-lap race, so it might be worth pitting before the end of stage 2. But, I mean, this is a real problem, isn't it, inside this game? I kept my foot to the floor. I feel like I did a pretty good job off the start. I, you know, stretched out all the gears sensibly, didn't do anything stupid. And I've still been completely dropped by everybody else. Well, coming off of the banking then, out of turn 4, white flag is in the air and nothing has happened for us. I mean, this has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen inside of this game. I can only assume it's because we haven't got any upgrades on the truck. That basically, obviously, the truck is basically just too slow to keep up off the starts. But of course, depending on what happens with pit strategy and everything else, we might have to try and do something a little bit rogue in this race to give ourselves any kind of fighting chance. Because if I do a 50-lap race of Daytona, and basically spend all 50 laps losing time, getting a caution, and losing time again, I don't think it's going to make for a very good video here today as well. So, cautions are set to strict, so any kind of wrong move by any of the other drivers could have brought out a caution and might allow us to get back in with the pack. But as they come across the line then, it is going to be the 42 of Mills. I didn't even get to see the finish. It just gave me last. That's a bit disappointing. Can we take fuel under this caution? I believe we can. So we could put 2 cans worth of fuel. That would put us back up to 32 laps overall. My logic is take a load of fuel now, maybe struggle off the restart, but then of course for the final stage, hopefully be a lot closer, and maybe start in the middle of the pack. Well, let's see then if we can do anything different this time round then. It looks like we were the only driver into the pit lane then, so at least we know we've got a bit more fuel than pretty much everybody else then ready for the second stage. But if I can just stick behind Dawson, maybe that's going to be the way to go to kind of keep ourselves with the tow. I mean, I've just got to try and stick to Cody Dennison, haven't I? And maybe this time round then, we're going to have a slightly better job of it as we try and get the truck cycled up into 4th gear. Are we going to be able to keep up with Cody Dennison? It still feels like I'm hanging on rather than kind of keeping up with him. But I think there we go. We've done enough this time round. So hopefully now we're actually going to be able to fight with these guys a little bit more. And of course then I'm sure everybody's going to pit at the end of this stage. Obviously we need some championship points as well. Obviously you get points in each stage, which could be super useful. But Bailey Curry then, just in front of us. It's nice to actually learn some names now as well. There we go, big stuff coming in from, I believe that was that Dennison behind us? Yeah, there you go, Dennison trying to go for a bit of a shove as well. So let's just take a bit of time to learn then how the car drafts, how we can push, everything like that. Of course, these things have got straight bumpers, so obviously you can really basically lock into the guy in front of you there. As again, big shove coming behind is Caleb Costner. Of course, yeah, one of my rivals, well, not really a rival, I guess, from my time out in the ARCA series, but I mean the big one surely has got to be, we've got to try and beat Williams Sawalich, don't we? There's Andres Perez de Lara there just ahead of us, and we'll try and push him into a bit of a pocket. But obviously if you guys missed the 100% draft video I did yesterday in the Cup cars, we were able to get a best speed of 197 miles an hour. I wonder how quick we're going to be able to go in the trucks, as I think we already have just seen about 187, so we're not too far away. Is Daniel Hemrick then, another guy that I've always been a bit of a fan of in NASCAR. So he never really saw much success in the top series, but across Truck and Xfinity, I believe he still only really had 1 win to his name, and of course that was the final race of the Xfinity series, which obviously helped him completely won in that championship, didn't it, that year? Just spotted a little bit of a gap down the middle. Are we going to be able to try and use this? I'm going to try and get a bit of a tow off of Garcia there. But I don't know. I think that's Tyler Ankrum, isn't it? Yeah. In the Leuna car. Oh, no. No. Thank you. We will try to avoid doing that all too much there. As, I mean, yeah, we found ourselves in a good little window here. Crafton there in the very iconic yellow 88 Menards car. So we are just going to try and force our way down the middle then. And I mean, I think we've still... Is that Dennison still coming with me? No, it's not. Oh, as I'm getting a little bit loose and lively. Corey Heim, though, leading the fields. I mean, this is a lot more exciting, isn't it? Those first 10 laps were boring. This is what I want here, so at least we know that the truck can do it. And obviously we'll have to wait and see. Oh, no, we're 4 wide, I think. Maybe. No, I think we're all good. There we go. We'll slot down to the inside line. Stuart Friesen there just in front of us, but... You know, have we already jumped past William Sawalich? Because I don't know where he is. I don't think I've spotted him so far. Is that him there in that orange truck? A little bit further up. I think it might be second in line of row 2. So just trying to read my names as best as I can. Luckily, obviously, I play this game in 4K, so it should look quite good. But obviously, as well, you know, does allow us to kind of see those finer details. There we go. Yeah, that is the number 1 truck of William Sawalich then. Make our way. Whoa, that's not where I wanted to be. Sorry, Stuart Friesen. Oh, easy. Oh, I've merged into the middle lane, apparently. I'm just hogging both lanes now. That seems to be the game plan at the moment. So, I mean, look at that Carl Busch in that 7 truck as well, trying to give some big shoves up on the high side there. But can we try and make it 4 wide then as we head down the back stretch? Oh, yellow. Come on, we've got to try and make moves happen. And if we can slot back up and in, there we go. Sucking back in underneath Caden Honeycutt. Oh, this is scary stuff here. As I think that is that N? No, that's Reed? Tony Bradinger or whatever her name is. I don't know. Anyway, come on. We're past her, so I think we're doing all right. Caden Honeycutt there, I don't know. Oh, he wants to move out of the way then. I don't know if he wanted me to go high with him. But Laney Riggs then up in P3 spots. Carl Larson there, Corey Heim still up at the front. And can we work with a 34 truck then on the outside line there? Stuart Friesen, maybe not my best friend so far tonight. And there we go then. We have picked a drafting partner here as we will try and give Laney Riggs a huge shove down the backstretch to the outside of the number 11 of Corey Heim. And surely we're going to move this through to the lead then, as already we're noticing our top 6 or 7 trucks there have got a little bit of a gap as Stuart Friesen again. Oh, no, that's not Friesen. Sorry, that's Carl Larson trying to shove me out of the way. As the 07 there trying to get a big run up towards the start finish line. But this is what I wanted here from Daytona. I know we're still not even halfway through this race, but everybody trying to make moves. And we will again try and give Riggs a little bit of a push. No, there's no room there. We're going to have to take the momentum with us. Get alongside the 34, door her slightly as we make our way down the back stretch. Oh, easy, easy. The draft is, oh no, so important there as accidentally my foot slipped off the throttle. Oh no, we're going to drop back massively. Because there we go, we're going to get immediately swallowed up then. Don't know who that is, but oh, big shove again coming through 188 miles an hour. That time around there, so we've got to try and be really smooth with it now. As you've still got someone working with me. I don't know who that is. But every time there, they just kind of shuffle me off the nose. And we've got Riggs ourselves, I think Bradinger there, all side by side for the lead of this race. We've still got 3 laps to go then, as I don't know who that is. That Stuart Friesen still giving me a big old push? I think it might be through turn 1 and turn 2 there, but we will just slowly try and keep moving around a little bit. Probably not the best thing to do. You want to probably keep your line nice and stable. Work out who wants to work with you and who doesn't. At this stage of the day, as we get a little nudge in the wall. Oh, that's going to cost us loads of speed, and that's going to take a lot of time to try and build back up then. There's Roger Caruth there just moving through in the 71 truck as well, but, I mean, this is all getting very intense there. Emmerich, debating whether he wants the bottom line or the middle. He's decided to come up a little bit. So, someone else there, I believe that was Costner, trying to follow him, and there will definitely not be an opportunity there. Still, there is a bit of momentum on that high side here with 2 laps to go. And where could we try and go then? Are we going to be able to make it happen, or they just have slotted back in? Maybe going to the outside of the 5 wasn't the way to go, and we will slot back in just underneath her. I mean, this is intense racing, isn't it? This is what I was hoping for. Seeing the first 10 laps are a little bit boring, and I don't know what I did wrong in those first 10 laps as well, which is a bit of a shame. Is this Regan Smith? No, this is Chandler Smith. Sorry, that I'm trying to give a bit of a run. I don't even know if Regan Smith still drives in any of the NASCAR series. Oh, Stuart Friesen there still in the middle, but how are we going to be able to try and get ourselves to the front of the order? We're just going to have to keep trying to push Chandler Smith down the middle, I think, at the moment. He doesn't really want to go with it. Laney Riggs there just covering off Ty Majeski on the outside. There we go. A nice push to get him through the middle. White flag is in the air. Hero of stage 2 at Daytona. And past Grant Enfinger as well we will try and go as Chandler Smith then still trying to give the 38 truck a little bit of a help there at the front, as I think that's Costner again giving us a big old shove. But Chandler Smith has left me. What is that? Chandler Smith there immediately ducking back down low. They're trying to get ahead of the number 9 truck there as we will try and go right past him in towards turn 3 and turn 4. Has that push come at just the right time? I don't think it has, as we are still wheel to wheel. That is again Enfinger maybe giving us a bit of a push there as Chandler Smith again trying to move up high. Are we going to be able to get a run back towards the start finish line there to the outside of the 38? Oh no, we've been hooked. I've been hooked. Oh man, 9 points on the board though, and at least we've shown that we're a little bit more competitive this time. We will take the fuel. We will make sure that I've got enough to get to the end, but boy oh boy, we don't need tyres, so hopefully we're going to be restarting right towards the very front. Well, leading then, ready for this restart. Honestly, I just want to make sure that we stay in the draft of everybody else once again. But leading the field here at Daytona off of this restart. And let's see what we can do then. 31 laps, sorry, 29 laps even, I should say, to the finish line there. And I don't know kind of how aggressive the AI will be early on. I know it's going to be tight on fuel towards the end, so I don't know if you're better off kind of sitting towards the back and maybe lifting and coasting a little bit more early on, but I think we've completely dictated the speed, actually. That seems to be Grant End figure. There we go. Now there's some momentum building on the high side. We can't really slot in because they are all just going to keep on coming through. Seems to be a bit of a gap there behind maybe the number 28 there of Brian Dozat, maybe? I don't really know there. There we go. Yep, we're back up to speed then. What kind of speed can we get out of the truck? 184 miles an hour. But of course, yeah, I mean, we've got 30 laps to go with this race. As long as I don't do anything stupid. Like I said, I'm honestly happy to slot back in a bit further back down the order. I'm a little bit scared about cautions and things like that maybe coming out. So I might kind of, you know, bring myself back in a little bit further back down the pack. And kind of see what happens here as well. There we go, we're getting absolutely swallowed up there. Bit of contact coming in from a few other drivers as well. There was Raja Karuth trying to get a big push in that 71. But we learned in that second stint that obviously we don't need to kind of be, you know, we can try and fight our way through, from the back of the pack. Because that was like Corey Heim there on my inside. So, yeah, I'm just going to slot back a bit. I'm going to try and make sure that obviously we've got good fuel to get to the end. As, I mean, yeah, how much fuel have we got then? 30 laps worth should definitely get us to the flag. But of course, you know, when you're absolutely on the red line, you are burning more fuel than normal. I mean, you can see there, even on half throttle, we are still kind of able to keep up with the pack. So that is reassuring. With just over 20 laps to go then, there is a familiar name now right up at the front of the order. William Sawalich in that number 1 truck now up to top spot. I know obviously the number 1 car in NASCAR isn't anything obviously like it is in Formula 1, but if you are champion of like ARCA, I assume obviously you can't pick that in trucks because there's no rule stopping the Truck Series champion of coming back, is there? Obviously, you know, people spend their entire lives or their entire professional career racing in the Truck Series and things like that. You know, Matt Crafton, I'm pretty certain he's done every truck race since before I was born, up until this season. It's a shame now he's dating someone I think that's younger than me, which is still a little bit weird, if you ask me personally. But yeah, we're just floating around though in about 30th spot though, trying to make sure that I save some fuel. Just kind of learning and waiting as well, because I've got the aggression set fairly high inside this series, and I'm just a little bit, you know, cautious still of a big wreck, you know, the big one at Daytona. Now, we obviously saw a couple of smaller ones back when we did our ARCA race here. Didn't really see any, though, in the 100% draft video I did a couple of days back. So just got to make sure that this group kind of doesn't drop too far away either. I mean, it's so difficult as someone that obviously live commentates these races. Obviously, you kind of got to be looking for the big moments. Normally, obviously, playing F1, I've got a pretty good idea of when the big moments are going to come. In NASCAR, I'm still a little more confused about it. So I am steadily learning, but I think as long as we sit here with probably about 10 to go, that's going to be when I really want to try and start going for it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings on obviously the longer races. Obviously the stage racing, everything like that. I think the stages work quite well. It gives us a couple of nice little break points. But whether you guys prefer 25% races or 50s, I don't think I want to do stage racing on a 25% event. Just because that'll just mean that you're doing like 5 laps caution, 5 laps caution, and then like 15 laps right at the very end. But I think it works well for these 50%ers. But it's just kind of whether you guys like how long the videos are as well, I guess. I will probably jump this series down to once every other day pretty soon. Obviously, I'm still having a lot of fun with it, but especially obviously if we're doing longer races, you know, they do take longer to record and produce and everything like that. So, you know, it's just all food for thought. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. I think I've wrecked Conor Moza. I got a big shove from behind. Yep, he's gone through the infield. There you go. Yep, caution is out. Sorry, Connor. That was not really what I intended to do. We do not need to pit, though, as I got a big shove from someone behind. I don't know who that was, but our first major incident then of the year, and I might have slightly caused it. How long have we got left then of this race? As we get ready to go green flag racing once again. We're going to have to be careful on this restart there, so it is going to be, what, like 13 laps going, if I had to guess? 15 laps remaining then of this race, so side by side then with Matt Craftham for the restart, but yeah, as long as we stay in the draft of the cars around us still, we all should still be okay. There's Spencer Boyd there, just trying to make the move through. How can he say clear low when Tanner Gray is right? Even I could see Tanner Gray on the inside there, but yeah, like I said, not too sure who gave us the push, but at least we know that cautions are now working, as now we're going to have to start thinking about when we want to set ourselves up to go for the run towards the end. But a little bit of drama a bit later on in the night. Well, there we go then, with just 13 to go. Frankie Boone is now just in front of me, and for those of you that maybe aren't so aware of NASCAR, yes, that is the Frankie Muniz from, what was it? I can't remember the name of the show now off the top of my head. But yeah, obviously, is it Morgan in the Middle? I think it was Morgan in the Middle, wasn't it? So obviously, not so close my lawyer as Morgan and Morgan as well on the back of that truck. But he seems to absolutely be loving, obviously, racing in all kinds of NASCAR series as well. So great to see him, obviously, you know, a fan of motorsport. Is always fantastic, you know, an advocate for motorsport, in all its shapes and sizes. But yeah, a little over 10 laps to go then. We've got to start thinking about when I want to try and move towards the front, because obviously everybody else is going to be thinking about it as well. There is Jack Wood in that 91 just up high. You can see Parker Kligerman now, and I think that was, yeah, Alexander on the outside as well then in the 21 truck. So that's why I can't use the 21, because of that guy there. So I mean, yeah, the strategy can get really, really tricky towards the end of a race, because, of course, it's all well and good knowing when you want to try and go, but you got 35 other guys that also want to try and go. I mean, if we could win this opening race and immediately lock ourselves in, that would be absolutely fantastic there. You know, takes a little bit of pressure off, because, obviously, for those of you that don't know how the championship format works in NASCAR, most of the races don't matter, effectively. As long as you win 2 all year, you could be champion. You don't even have to win 2, actually. In fact, you can get away with winning none. As I believe, actually, yeah, Matt Crafton did that a few years ago. Didn't win a single Truck Series race, but still won the championship. In a format that apparently encourages winning more than anything else. Basically, your top 10 most winningest drivers or highest championship points, if there aren't 10, head into, I believe it's the final 6 races in trucks. After the first 3, the lowest 3 don't get through unless they won a race. If you win a race, you're locked into the next round. Then we do another 3 races with the top 8. And obviously, again, if you win, you're through to the next round. And obviously, after those 3 winners, it's the highest on points. And then the final race, out of the 4 of you, whoever comes out top wins. Everybody else is still there. But it is incredibly, incredibly janky. And obviously the big talk for 2026 is that NASCAR could be moving away from it, or at least changing up the format so it's not just one race right at the end of the campaign that potentially makes all the difference there. There's 10 to go then. We just lost a little bit of ground there to Bailey Curry in that 44, so let's even try and give him a bit of a push back in towards turn 1. As you can just see, they're 3 wide up in front. Everybody now desperate to try and make some moves, desperate to try and put themselves in a good position to win this race. I know we've got good speed. Maybe I've got to try and work with Frankie Muniz then, as we will try and slot down the middle. Can spot that yellow bumper from a mile out. And we will try and give him a big old shove then down the back stretch. It is still Chandler Smith then, right up at the front of the order. You can see there, yeah, we're able to punch quite a big gap just up in front there. But I've given Muniz the run, but I haven't gone with him. It's all getting shuffled around there a little bit more. Kligerman then just in front of us now in that 75. Come on, Tanner Gray. I'm happy to work with basically anyone I can at this stage of the day. We're going to get a huge run then to the inside of Parker Kligerman. I mean, look at that, almost 190 miles an hour. I think I spotted 191 earlier on this race when we were just kind of trying to do our own thing then. But yeah, we're going to try and work with Frankie here as well. His rear bumper is looking very, very second-hand. at this stage of the day. But, I mean, we're 16th, 6/10 off the leader. How do you fit 16 Craftsman trucks under a blanket like this? Utterly insane. Well, putting them 3 wide obviously helps with that quite a lot, but unless Frankie really wants to start making a move soon, can I try and push him to the outside? I think we've got to try. And there we go. Yeah, now he's starting to get a bit of a run then, so we can work this together. Come on, buddy. 187. Oh, no, don't slot in behind. Come on, we've got to use the run. I just don't think he wants to go just yet, and that's making me a little bit nervous. Oh, he's going to move back to the inside there. He's made himself an enemy in this race then. So we almost get turned off of Parker Kligerman's nose, but you can see there is a bit of a gap forming a little bit further behind as well. So maybe, just maybe, we're starting to see packs kind of break away there. As oh, is there a gap down the middle? Yes, there is, and we're going to give Ruggiero a big old push then. Gio Ruggiero there just in front of us, and we are now right on the cusp of the top 10 with a handful of laps to go. Andres Perez de Lara there still on the outside there, as Carl Busch, of course, one of your heavy hitters, right up towards the front as well. You cannot count him out until we have crossed the checkered flag. Ty Majeski as well. Oh, everybody in this fight is... Oh, no, I'm making it 4 wide accidentally. I was kind of getting shoved into that. I don't know who it was behind me that was giving us a little bit of a push into that scenario there, but it was not quite where I wanted to be. And you can't really lift out in those scenarios. Otherwise, you're just going to get turned. I'm going to get turned anyway. Down the wall we go. Is this going to be a caution? We've kind of held on to it. But that might be huge for this race late on in the day, as everybody's able to keep going. But there is a big gap now that has formed just up in front. William Sawalich, we might have to try and work with him to get back to that front group there. But suddenly now, we've got a big gaggle of cars that have been able to get away there. Probably about nearly half the field has gone then. But can we try and stick with these guys? There's a handful of us that are able to rebuild the momentum and maybe get a little bit closer once again. We're going to have to give Matt Mills the shove of his life back in towards Salmon there, and these guys have got to keep pushing together. We've got to keep working to try and get back towards that front group, and we might still be able to do so. 6 laps to go. I'm not sure whose nose it was that I get pushed off of, but it seems like, yeah, you've got to focus on trying to get big runs rather than just obviously shoving each other. As there we go, getting another push from behind there, as we're going to have to try and give William Sawalich a big old push as well then. Come on, Sawalich, go, 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 go. We are about a second back. I don't quite know how big the draft effect, how far back it'll work from, but I think if we can get a run, we are basically going to have to keep my foot to the floor right away towards the finish here, as Sawalich is just not going in the way I need him to. Gotta try and get a bit of a bigger run there. I think the top guys are maybe starting to be a little bit more careful, because they know there is a lot to lose at the moment, but come on, we've got to keep giving Sawalich big old pushes. But I need someone to be pushing me as well. Oh, we've helped him out there. And they're getting a little bit squirrely up towards the front. This'll help. Huge shove coming in from Curry as well. So that might help us out on trying to bring Sawalich just that little bit closer. It is all the finer details at this stage of the day. And as long as we can get Sawalich back in the draft, which I think we might just now be starting to do, this will allow us to get a bit closer. Oh, Sawalich again. I mean, we're up at 190. Surely that is enough to be closing back in on the front guys, and it goes to show that even if you get a moment like that, teamwork can bring you back in towards the fight as well. I mean, Sawalich, see, obviously we had a lot of battles with him last season, but on a super speedway, that doesn't matter. We've got to try and work with him late on in the day. Come on, come on, come on. So there we go. We are back with this front group, and can we keep trying to push Sawalich? Oh, he hesitates. He lives out of it. So I might have to try and work with Frankie Muniz once again, as he's going to get swallowed up in that 33. And I mean, look at that, he's immediately dropped off the back of that group as well. So maybe I was better off going with Sawalich and trying to keep ourselves in the fight. These last couple of laps, though, are going to be really, really tricky. So Sawalich, is he going to come back down? Yes, he is. We're going to move up the racetrack a little bit there. Didn't want to give him a shove into the corner, and we will get right around his outside then. And there we go, there's a gap towards the front. We've got to try and use up the space as we try and get to the inside there of Perez de Sala once more. Daniel Hemrick just in front of us. 3 laps to go here from Daytona. The fine movements you make in the wheel can be race defining here. It's the biggest race of the season in all of the NASCAR Top Series as well. It's the one that everybody wants to win. but only one of you can do so, and you got 35 other guys trying to stop you. Come on, we've got to try and work with Kligerman. He's had good speed all day, to be fair to him. And look at that now. We are starting to get the shove towards the front. Oh, Corey Heim there, I believe that is just able to cover him off. As Kyle Busch as well in that 7 truck. Still up high, still doing well here with 2 laps remaining. At some point, you're just going to have to go for it. You're going to have to say, you know, to hell with everybody else. I am going for this victory. Everybody wants to win, though. And obviously, there isn't much loyalty inside the truck series. All I can hope for is that we don't wreck the truck in the process, because, well, we need the cash money as best as we can at this early stage of the season. You guys have been telling me, you know, you can't keep you can't keep level 5 parts on all the time. You will have to be a bit more sensible with it throughout the course of the campaign. There is someone on the outside there. I think that is the 34 car, isn't it? Yes. Getting a big old run as well of Riggs. Laney Riggs there back towards the front. But one more lap then. Here from Daytona. Oh, another big shove coming in behind. And everybody now getting a little bit more skittish. Everybody now. The shoves are getting bigger. The speed is getting more aggressive. Look at that Parker Kligerman. A power move towards the inside there. He's going to force me up the road. And now things get very difficult. I think we're 4 wide there, as I've just got nowhere to go in towards turn 1. We've still got Kligerman on the inside. Corey Hines still out front, though, able to maintain that momentum. It wasn't Kligerman, it was Sawalich. Out of nowhere, back towards the front. And my old ARCA rival, am I going to have to try and push him towards the victory here? I'm not afraid to turn him if I need to after we get out of turn 4, because look at this, myself and Sawalich now trying to go for the move towards the front of the order here. William Sawalich in that number 1 truck, and suddenly he's got a bit of a run away from us. Surely we can get back to him, though, as Perez Sala giving us a big old shove. Which way will Sawalich go? We will go to the outside. Oh, William Sawalich, have we got the speed to get past him on the run to the line? Yes, we have! 4 thousandths of a second. And our first ever Truck Series race. It is P1. Oh, that was good fun. I mean, I'm losing my voice. That's how fun that was. That we were barely hanging on towards the end. And there we go. I mean, it reads like an ARCA result, doesn't it? Myself and William Sawalich, 1 and 2. Come the finish there. Andres Perez Sala there. I mean, he won me that race. Perez de Lara, sorry, even I should say. I'm thinking of de Salazar from F1 back in like the 70s and 80s. That push from the 77 won us that race right at the end. Corey Heim in P4 ahead of Hemrick. Laney Riggs, Frankie Muniz gets P7 there ahead of Kligerman. Honeycutt and Kyle Busch will be disappointed down in P10 there. Any other kind of big names I'm surprised were a little bit further back? Tony Bredinger, she was obviously right towards the front early on, but dropped back later on in the race. Kyle Larson down in P24. Matt Crafton in 26th place as well as ahead of Ben Rhodes. Stuart Friesen just inside your top 30. And then Jason Alexander just behind Caleb Costner at the rear of the field. What a race here from Daytona. But we've won on debut. Well, there we go then. Rather surprisingly, still only getting 2,268 reputation from this event, despite the fact we won. So I guess that means that obviously trying to move up to Xfinity is going to be a lot more difficult then over the course of the campaign. But there we go. NASCAR trucks, Craftsman Trucks. Matt Beard wins the truck opener at Daytona. In a race that defied all expectations, rookie truck driver Matt Beard made an incredible debut by taking home the win in their first race. Beard is known for entering the ARCA Menard Series via their Discovery race, and now looks to be a major impression in the Truck Series. Cody Dennison congratulating me on 10 career wins. NASCAR as well. It's Beard by a razor's edge. Is that a pun on my surname that I've never seen before? Maybe. Daytona fans elated by thrilling photo finish. And then Cody Dennison as well. Yeah, Cody Dennison likes me apparently this weekend. So there we go then. What a start. There we go then. That should be a big helping of cash as well there. 49 points on the board for the championship. And I believe that means we're locked into the next round if I'm not mistaken. $60,000 though. Very, very helpful. And let's take a look then at how beaten up is the car. Not too badly, actually. But of course, I want to try and get some upgrades on it ready for next weekend. How much reputation do I need? Can I find out how much rep I need to try and make it up into the next series. I don't think I can anywhere. So if anybody could tell me, that would be very, very useful. But so having a look then last season, it was Caden Honeycutt that took the championship ahead of Jake Garcia and Chandler Smith there, with Grant Enfinger in P4. Despite the fact I don't believe any of those guys actually won a race. Surely they did. I mean, surely... Oh, no, they did. Yeah, ignore me. I'm being really stupid there. But there we go. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back hopefully tomorrow then out at Echo Park Speedway. It's Atlanta.